My friend is about to propose to his girlfriend, but I know how unfaithful she is. Stop! My good friend Aaron and his girlfriend Mary have been together for almost 7 years. They met in college and are in a very close relationship. Personally, I would call them extremely codependent. Neither of them really have any friends aside from each other. By the way, this comes from user an orange horse. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. She doesn't let him have guy friends. In fact, she doesn't let him do a lot of things. He's not allowed to go out past 11, not allowed to drink or smoke. She has to approve all of his friends, and he's not allowed to be alone with other girls. She's got this guy on a tight leash. The reason why they're still together is that Aaron is completely whipped, and to him, she can do no wrong. He talks regularly about how amazed he still is that she finds him attractive. He's a decent looking guy, but she's like supermodel level good looking. They post cutesy couple photos every day. I'm pretty sure she makes him post them, and to everyone who sees them, they appear to be a perfect, magical fairy tale couple. Anyway, a few weeks ago, he told my boyfriend and me that he was planning on proposing to Mary. Of course, we congratulated him because he seemed super excited. Ah, man. No.
Dude.
Cold water. Now. Yesterday.
The thing about throwing cold water on your friends, though, when they're this deep, they've got to figure that out themselves. I don't know. Try talking to them, but if you can't, if cold water ain't working.
Yeah. Cold water's more for you. Just being like, I did what I tried.
Yeah.
I tried. Now, here's the issue. A few weeks prior to this, I hung out with a friend of Mary named Allison. Allison told me about a party they went to where Mary got wasted and slept with her ex. Oh, $10 trillion to me. Thank you. After the party, they began hooking up regularly, and she had a with him and a friend of his. Aaron has no knowledge of these hookups. I told my boyfriend about it because he shares my friendship with both of them, and he believes that we need to say something. But I'm not so sure how to even go about that. It will destroy him, ruin their entire relationship, and maybe a friendship as well. However, I think in the long term, he will be unhappy with a marriage where she's so controlling. It's not even that, but if she's completely okay with cheating on her long-term partner, it will be the same once they're married. Is telling him the right thing to do. Edit, to clarify, the cheating has not been going on for 6 years as far as I'm aware, and the hookups occurred recently. Like that matters. Edit 2, some of the comments are calling me a bad friend for not telling him immediately. After giving it some thought and reading the comments, I have decided to tell him as soon as I can. Most likely tonight, if he's free to hang out. To those saying I'm being a bad friend for waiting, this is a huge deal, and it will greatly affect the future of Aaron, and I want to make sure I break the news in the correct way. This man is blinded by love. He's not going to expect this news at all, and his whole life is about to change. I'm definitely not going to do nothing because he deserves much better than this woman, and he deserves to know the truth about what he's getting into if he still decides to marry her. I'm expecting a full-blown crap storm. I'm expecting him to be hurt, angry, and in disbelief. I don't believe it's wrong that I'm asking for a bit of advice on how to approach this. Should I have told him sooner? Maybe, but what difference would a few weeks make? For all those asking, I'll post an update when I do it, and there's some comments.
Yeah.
Well, let's read them. Comment 1. He might not take it very well, but I think you should tell him. He can do what he wants with the information, but as a friend, you should absolutely tell him before he marries this chick. Reply. Yep. She'll spin it that she wants Aaron, so she's trying to break them up. OP has no proof besides the word of another person. Be careful about throwing her into this. Comment 2. Your friend is not in a codependent relationship. He's in a harmful one. No, seriously, we're often slower to call it out when it's men being mistreated, but switch the genders. If a girlfriend of yours has a boyfriend who didn't let her stay out late, let her drink or smoke, and didn't let her have friends that he doesn't vet, you would probably not call that codependent. You'd call that controlling and abuse. Edit number 3. I've talked to Aaron since I posted this, and he is coming over tonight to talk and hang out. My boyfriend and I are going to tell him together because he knows the situation as well.
Oh boy, I don't know about hanging out. It's more like a revelation, a revealing.
Yeah, you just play a nice round of Mario Kart and you say, "Congrats on the W, Aaron. I have something to tell you."
I was thinking more of a reveal thing, like you have like a canvas that's like hidden by a tablecloth, and it's like, okay, are you ready for this big thing? And then you go, boom, and then it's like your girlfriend's cheating on you.
It's a whiteboard that says your girlfriend's cheating on you.
Yeah, that seems like the best case scenario.
In my head, I was like, hold on to that feeling of a first place victory. It feels so good, right? Hold on to that. Hold on to that. Your girlfriend had a 3-way.
Yeah, but that's sort of like life's here, and then you go here, and you're like, great. And then as soon as you get that information, you might as well just be kind of like mellow and then down.
You fell into the...
That's how it kind of felt.
The Laurentian abyss.
That's how it kind of felt when I found out.
Oh, dang. I'm sorry, Keon.
Okay, he's coming over and we're going to talk and hang out. My boyfriend and I are going to tell him together because he knows the situation as well. A few of you have suggested I talk to Mary first to give her a chance to come clean. No.
Maybe an ultimatum?
No. Nope.
I'm cool with ultimatums. I could see that, but...
Don't give the a chance to clear their name.
Oh, true.
Don't
she is pretty manipulative. He doesn't have any guy friends or anything. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no, tell him.
Well, that's a good idea. I disagree. I'm not as close to her as I am to Aaron, and I don't see that going over well. I would much rather tell him and leave it to him to decide what to do from there. Edit 4. New information has been received from the third-party friend, Allison. She has sent me screenshots of texts that do prove Mary has been involved with her ex. They send messages regularly, and he has sent her the noodles.
I love noodles. What kind?
The ones from Kung Fu Panda.
Noodles.
No, noodle. Edit number 5. LMAO. I'll just mention that Aaron just got to our house. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will update later if I can. Thank you all so much for the kind messages and helping me work this hot mess out. I've been stressing about this all day, but I believe I'm doing the right thing in telling him. Quick little edit at 11 Eastern Standard Time. We all talked for a good bit. I told him what I heard from Allison and it went better than expected, but he was still pretty mad and upset. We're all just chilling and drinking now. I'll post the whole story tomorrow. Thanks again for all the replies.
Okay.
Here's the rest of the story. We've got the update.
I think Aaron sounds like he kind of knew, because if someone takes information like kind of well, they've definitely been thinking about it.
I hope so. I hope it's not just like straight up like dissociation.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's like, all right, and this, you know what? I've been thinking maybe this has been a bad situation for me, and now I know it is.
Yeah, sort of like if you've been broken up with abruptly versus broken up with and you've like kind of seen it coming. The abruptly one, usually nothing's good, but whenever you kind of expect the breakup, you're like, okay, been seeing it happen, not fun, but all right. That's what I think this scenario is.
I think you're right about that. So I got lots of feedback on what to do here. A good majority of the comments told me to say something. To clarify, it may not have been clear in the original post, but I was never planning on doing nothing. Of course, you got to tell your bro if they're being cheated on. I just wasn't sure how to approach the situation. Well, at least you know that in retrospect now. Yeah. Some of the commenters gave me some very helpful advice. Some of you told me to talk to the girlfriend first. Some of you told me to wait. Some told me to gather a bunch of evidence first, which I ended up getting from Allison, the third-party friend. Some of you guys got angry with me for not telling him sooner, told me I was a bad friend. Some were sure he wouldn't believe me. Some predicted the girlfriend would deny it all. Well, all of you were somewhat right. Here's how it went down. I messaged Allison early on in the day, shortly after I made the post, because typing it all brought out my guilt and apprehension from the situation to the surface. I said to Allison that I needed to tell Aaron and asked whether or not she had proof. This was when she sent me the screenshots of the text messages. Aaron came over at around 8, and what was great was that Allison came over too. We all sat down and talked for a bit, and we all told him our suspicions about Mary. Allison showed him the text screenshots of Mary talking to her ex, and also told Aaron all the stories she shared about her spicy-related encounters.
You mean to tell me there's something about Mary?
Yes, Matt Dillon. What was the most surprising was his reaction. He actually took it very well. He first got very quiet and just nodded. Aaron ended up telling us that he had a sneaking suspicion that something was going on. He was not aware of the hookups, but he and Mary had gotten into fights before over the fact that she doesn't allow him near any other girls, but she goes out and flirts with other guys all the time. He told us that she had been distant lately and would leave rather often without telling him where she was going. There were a few other small things he mentioned that told us he was just generally unhappy with his relationship. He knew in his gut something was wrong, but wanted to believe it wasn't true. And by the way, I'll tell you something that's true, is that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio and wherever you listen to podcasts. All you have to do is search what, Riley?
Okay, story time.
That's all it takes. And then you've got over 2,000 episodes to listen to. That's good eating. We do have a little bit more story. Do you have any closing thoughts? You have any thoughts, Riley?
Oh, I was going to wait till I'm like very invested. I want to see what Aaron has to say. But Aaron, sounds like you're almost on the other side of it. Good luck, brother.
We started unwinding with some booze after that, and it all got way more emotional. He cried, talking about how he felt stupid for not seeing it sooner, how he really loved her and would have given her anything. Then he got angry at her, and even more so at the guy. Some unpleasant and derogatory terms were used to describe her. Ultimately, he's told us that he's going to be breaking it off, at least for now. What? For now? Forever? Is that forever? You meant to say forever. I got you. We told him a million times how much better he deserved. He's definitely not going to marry her. Thanks again for all the supportive words and advice. We saved a good man from heartbreak. Edit. Oh, this exploded fast. Thanks for all the kind words, people. And that is the end of that story. Yeah. Hey, again, if you have, and OP did say that they clarified this and they were like, I was never not going to do anything. If you have a good friend or even just a normal friend, anyone who you have an actual relationship with, not an acquaintance, not just like someone you have met once. If you know someone's being cheated on and they are in your life, tell them.
Yep.
It is not you destroying their relationship. That was the person who cheated.
Especially if you see like a friend of yours in like a lion's den and you're like, oh wait, they're adding more lions to it. Probably tell them they're in a lion's den.
Right.
You know?
Yes. Tell immediately. If anyone of your friends' partners gives you an inkling that they are going to do an infidelity, you tell them.
My girlfriend is afraid I'll cheat on her, that she ended up ruining our relationship.
Ah, that's the classic.
How dare you? My 24 male Russian girlfriend, 25 female, is jealous to the point I don't know what to do anymore. Yet, we plan to go abroad together for a month. I do not know if I will make it to that, given that her jealousy will get even worse there. By the way, this comes from Weed of Justice. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, the large backstory. I've been together with her for somewhat over a year, and this is my first serious relationship. I truly love her. From Russia with love. She's incredibly smart, ambitious, good looking, caring, and she has everything I'm looking into for a partner.
Okay.
On the other hand, though, she is so jealous that this is one negative aspect of her overshadows all the positive sides. Ugh.
Yikes, that's a lot of jealousy, too, if it can undo everything else.
I started my master program last fall, well knowing that I would have to interact with my fellow students, given that my university is rather small and networking is an integral part of my studies since students from all over the world are there. However, knowing well that she would get jealous of any girl I would talk to, and sometimes even boys, I tried to avoid any new friendships / contacts as well as possible, even though that will completely contradict my character. I do not need a million people around me, but I like to socialize in a new environment and feel comfortable with the new people. Furthermore, roughly 2/3 of the students are girls. Ooh, okay.
Well, that'll put some suspicion in your heart a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really hard when you're in a relationship with someone and they just like have a fundamental belief that is like not true. Like I'm going to take that you don't want to cheat on what you describe to be your perfect girlfriend that is everything you've been looking for.
Yeah.
But if she believes you will, you're in a really hard spot.
Her jealousy got so bad that whenever I was mentioning a study group I was in, which was only for study-related matters, or when she saw the name of a girl on my WhatsApp conversations with whom I discussed university-related stuff with, she would get super negative and tell me I probably want to date that girl, etc. Even when I suggested going to the library together with her. She is a student herself at another university, and a male friend, she asked why we cannot go there as two. Also, when I suggest cooking together with her and my flatmate, who is also one of my closest friends, she always preferred to only do it as two, or just with us. Overall, she does not understand that I want to see other people in my life, accusing me that she is not enough for me and that she does not make me happy. This is what's going on here. I've seen this happen to a good friend of mine. This girl ain't got no hobbies. Her hobby is worrying about you. Now, appreciating all of her other qualities, I most of the time gave in when an argument ensued until last December when I had exam week. Therefore, was extremely stressed out. Furthermore, my grandfather during that week passed away, so my patience for extra drama was rather thin. Nevertheless, on the night before an important exam, she wanted to have an argument because she felt like I was neglecting her and not giving her enough attention. At one point during the evening, I angrily hung up on her and did not respond to any of her spam texts / messages messages afterwards. Oh, I knew she was going to do this. I was like, and then I got a knock on my door. She then decided to drive to me and insisted on coming into my flat.
Dude, Riley has seen this playbook.
Where she destroyed a super sweet gift she made me, all while hysterically crying. I do not remember how, but eventually I managed to calm her down and tell her we would meet on Friday after my exam week was over. During the rest of the week, she managed to control herself, partly because my grandfather passed away 2 days after that evening.
Oh my God.
I still had exams, so she understood I did not need more arguments.
Dude.
However, I already knew I did not want to be in such of a relationship and ended it with her on Friday, me being in tears while she kind of accepted it and walked off. I don't think she accepted. I think she had a game plan.
Yeah, dude.
And she's walking away to initiate it.
She immediately started scheming, dude. She didn't accept anything right there.
In February, we got back together because I started missing her so much. Again, so many great qualities.
Which again,
I know what qualities are now. I know what qualities stand for now.
Well, look, he did describe her as like everything's cool when it's cool, but then she just gets hit by these tidal waves of jealousy that negates all of the cool stuff, which is like, you can't do that.
Still, I had already applied for an exchange semester at a Russian university, which would significantly boost my career options as I want to work in a field related to diplomatic relationships with Russia. I told her about that, and she constantly said she would not survive those 4 months without me, and that this program would be the end. This went on for so long that I eventually said I would not go abroad.
No. I mean, well, honestly...
You're letting this woman destroy your career options. You're letting her stop you from advancing. She does not understand that if she wants to have a family with you and to grow, that she needs to allow you to talk to other people. This is not a growth relationship. This is going to keep you in a box.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I might be out of line in saying this, but I feel like you can find a better career than Russian diplomat, you know? Like, I feel like historically, the Russian diplomats...
We're not talking about his career. This
usually
career.
get it pretty bad.
We're talking about the relationship.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, the fact that, like, now he's no longer going overseas could be a good thing.
Okay, true. But
could be a good thing.
But his girlfriend's crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely break up with her.
However, after a lot of reconsiderations and talks with my friends and family, I thought that I did not want to give up on that because 4 months, in my opinion, are not that long, and going there in her country was really a dream of mine. In addition, a series of arguments with my girlfriend about different things also made me question why I should give up on that when apparently she does not appreciate my sacrifice at all and constantly demands new things from me, all while she never gave in or managed to see my side and meet me in the middle. For instance, I've only have and by now had would have been more appropriate one female friend, which was a big no-go for her. In consequence, I did not meet that friend at all when we were back together. Only went to her birthday party together with my girlfriend after lots of persuasion, trying to show her that nothing even remotely romantic was going on between us. The party went well, but my girlfriend did not change her position one bit, still fearing that this girl would be a danger to our relationship and that I would have feelings for her. On a side note, my girlfriend has some male friends and always says she would immediately break contact with them if I told her to, but I don't want to because I see nothing wrong with having contact with a different gender as long as it's nothing romantic. Another example would be the birthday party of one of my best friends, which we also attended together. Well, knowing that there were other girls from my former university whom I've never had anything romantic with, but we all got along, pretty much babysat my girlfriend the whole evening, meaning I did not leave her side, talk to as little people as possible, to any other girls, and when my girlfriend nevertheless cried at 2 points during the evening, I took her aside and comforted her for at least 30 minutes. Ow. At one point, the girlfriend of the birthday boy and I and 2 other guys had a long talk about the Russian language, culture, etc. since my girlfriend was close by, and who better to discuss that with than a Russian? Repeatedly waved her over to join the conversation. Instead, at one point, she ran away, resulting in me following her.
Oh, gosh.
She admittedly wastedly screamed at me that I wanted to have spicy sleep with my friend's girlfriend and that I was a cheater, smashing her phone on the ground, throwing herself on the ground, etc. At this point, my patience was gone, and I started screaming at her, telling her that I would call the police if she ever showed up to my flat again. No smart move, but I was full of it and also wasted. These are just 2 examples of what happens at least once a week, with me being the person every time that starts approaching my girlfriend and trying to sort things out. Dude, you gotta run. You gotta run. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Running away.
Have you ever seen anything
Not
like
this, dude. For this to be happening every week, I was about to say, it's like you just don't have the patience.
Keon, have you ever seen anything like this?
Not to this extent. And I've seen a lot of things, but not to this extent.
Fast forward, I decided to only fly to Russia in October, whereas the courses already started in the beginning of September, and lived together with her for a month from mid-October to mid-November, leaving only 6 weeks of us being separated. Also, I will pay for the flat. She has little money and cannot afford to pay for the rent for that month. For me, it is also not easy, but I can manage, so whatever. Now, I already wanted to break up twice with her in the beginning of the summer because her jealousy went so far that we were only arguing every night, leaving me no time besides arguing and studying for exams and feeling completely unhappy. Every time I wanted to break up, she pretty much cried hysterically and begged me to give her another chance, as she understood her behavior was unacceptable and that she would better herself. She even said she might have borderline personality disorder and would try to do something about it, but she did not. And whenever I brought up the PBD again, she immediately neglected my concerns as crazy talk and insults, even though I tried to bring it up in a very caring way to show her that I only want what's best for her. Now, I feel that I have already gave in so many times to many of her demands. I do avoid contact with any girls as best as possible. I do not see my female friend at all. I only take her with me on the exchange semester so she can meet the other students as well and show that I am taken. I am super patient with her behavior. Last week, I asked a question in the group chat for exchange students in Russia, whereby a girl responded to me privately as we were having the same problems. We also texted the next day. Mind you, only university stuff. Furthermore, my picture profile does not depict me. She did not even have one herself. Plus, we did not ask any personal questions whatsoever. Still, I told my girlfriend that I had posed this question and that a girl had answered me privately. Fine. On Saturday, another huge drama ensues as she was certain I was chatting with that girl about private things and demanded to see the chat. Now, I had nothing to hide, but my patience with her jealousy reached a low level in recent time, and I, in the beginning, politely denied her demand, explaining that it is impossible for me to flirt with a girl I've known for 4 days, about whom I know nothing about, and not even how she looks, vice versa. She again started screaming that I was a cheater, and I must show her all chats whenever she wants to see them. As my flatmate is on holiday for 2 weeks, she was staying with me the whole time, and I first politely, later also angrily, told her to go to her place because I certainly did not feel like arguing again the whole night, like we already did so often, and that I would be alone and would call her an Uber home, which she of course angrily denied, arguing I cannot treat her that way. During our argument, I also screamed and at one point even insulted her, for which I apologized a million times later, whereas later only half-heartedly apologized for all of the things she said to me and her behavior. In the end, I told her she could see the chat, and even though I did not want to show a harmless chat at the time, when she was a weird, completely unfolding feeling. I already showed her the chats with my female friend, plus even has the code to my phone, and I do not hide my phone. I let her use it for music, Google searches, etc., but I do not want her to snoop around in my private messages. No matter what, because I feel like I'm entitled to that much privacy, I never even once used her phone, nor do I want to check it, because I trust her. In the end, it was me again who tried to sort things out, apologized, and gave in to her demands. She still held a grudge against me for insulting her, for which I, again, apologized so many times, and rightfully so, because that was a very low insult. Still, I really wish she would be also understanding of how unacceptable her behavior is. And I know that the month we will spend in Russia together will be horrible, because even when I try, I cannot fully avoid contact with girls. For instance, in one course, which I attend online for now, there were 5 boys and 1 girl, and my girlfriend already told me that she was worried about that girl, even though I never talked to her and also have no interest in her. I suggested therapy for her already so many times, but for her, that is an insult, as she perceives me as accusing her of being crazy. Plus, she argues that she has no money, which is true, but there are free options in my country and no time, as she works and studies. Fair point, but I don't know what to do anymore. I was really patient, but I realized how my patience has gone now and how my temper also takes over time something happens. And again, I feel like, in general, I'm a caring boyfriend. I take her to pretty much all social events with me. I bring her to family. I ask her if it's okay with her when I meet my male friends for one-on-one. I spend as much time as possible with her. I pay for pretty much everything, despite also having little money as a student. I talk about our common future together with her. I surprise her with trips and dinners, and that's not because I always want to do these things, but because I want to show her how important she is to me. And again, I know the healthiest thing would to be to break up, but since she hyperventilated and almost fainted the last time I tried to, and has little friends and no family in my country, I feel bad when I try to do that again. Furthermore, when we are not arguing, everything seems perfect, but I am extremely happy and completely forget our problems.
OP's a little goldfish. OP's little blub, glub, 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 glub. Oh, my hot Russian
I'm
girlfriend.
so close to the... Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you have any suggestions regarding what I can do to help her with her extreme jealousy, or what we could do? I would appreciate any comments you have, as I really do not know what to do anymore. I do love her, but I feel like when she is jealous, she's a completely different person. I cannot live with such a toxic relationship anymore. Pinning that right now. We already talked about her jealousy so many times, and sometimes understands my point, but she does not do anything against her jealousy. She says she does by not telling me every single thing she worries about, but I feel like that's not enough and only results in her building in a grudge, which at some point will explode. Again, if you read this far and have any suggestions, you are my hero. I'm about to be your Superman. What was that one comment we pinned a little bit ago? I cannot live with such toxic behavior.
He's like, I want to break up with her, but last time I did it, she hyperventilated. Oh, boo-hoo, cry me river, sing me a song. What do you mean? Oh, I broke up with her and she didn't like it. Oh, so I can't. Like, I'm exhausted by both of you now.
I am.
Like, you're a perfect match.
And if you're with someone that's guilt-tripping you to stay together, toxic. If you're with someone that has not set themselves up for success and created friends outside of you and created a stable living outside of you, toxic. If they're relying on you and they have no money, and like, I understand like being in college, you don't have much money, but they're relying on you for like taking care of them and always giving them trips and things like that, toxic. You're saying you don't want to live in a toxic relationship, but you got to take a step back. Got to take a step back.
She's the unstoppable force and you're the immovable object. You just have to leave. How do I help my girlfriend with her jealousy problem? Well, if you leave her, she won't have anything to be jealous about anymore.
Update. I left, but it feels like betrayal. All right.
Okay. Well, we've made progress at least.
My now ex is not diagnosed with PPD, but when I made a huge post on another relationship support forum, someone suggested this strongly looks like PPD. After looking into the topic, everything makes perfect sense now. She never showed signs of self-harm in any way, and arguments weren't always fully nuclear, although I gave in most of the time, which might be a reason. And besides, I, of course, cannot judge her for something whether she suffered from PPD. Now, after another huge fight last weekend and a fruitless talk this week, I knew I had to leave because I was feeling so bad and tense all the time, like I never experienced it before. After not seeing her for 5 days, I've decided to do it during a walk, and for the whole day, I already felt so horrible, like a betrayer. When we met, she said she finally believed that she needs therapy and that she has already talked with a therapist this week, which, given that she hardly has any money left after her rent, was a really big thing. No, dude, no. She knows what you're thinking. You've played this game. How many times have we played this game? How many times have we seen this happen?
Maybe infinite. This might have been happening forever. They might be a force of nature, like sort of like, you know, like the koi fish from the Avatar. Like straight up, like, because why do you keep going back? Why do you keep entertaining this? I have zero sympathy for you anymore, OP. This is what you want. Go get it then. Go live in it. Yeah. And if you say that you don't want it, then knock, knock. Hi, it's yourself. Listen to you. Listen to yourself. Listen.
She, of course, told me to give her one final chance. She has really needed me to carry through with therapy. We proceeded to talk for 2 hours, but I more and more repeatedly made it clear while her choice is amazing, I could not stick around to see what she was doing with real progress. I also suggested taking an option free for therapy instead and named her the institute that and the first address to find suitable insured cover therapists. She became more and more hysterical, hugging me, panic struck, and telling me we could do that, but she needed me because her parents were not here as they live in her home country. Her close friends as well, and she, in addition, has some other problems I don't want to go into detail. And I know that is true. I still tried to carry through, whereby at one point she started shivering in her whole body and collapsed. This has already happened when I tried to end it 3 months earlier at her home. Back when I stayed with her, told her we would try to make things work out, but it didn't work out. So this time I called an ambulance, and while I was on the phone, she regained consciousness, started hyperventilating, but eventually pulled herself up with my help. Then she started walking towards the water. We were next to a large river, but it seems like that wasn't her. She was sleepwalking. I grabbed her and hugged her, and we remained like that until the ambulance came. But her breath was so rapid and changed in pace every 5 seconds. She couldn't remember what she had done afterwards. I came with her to the ambulance to the hospital, holding her hand, and constantly begged me not to leave her and to stay by her side. It really shattered my heart just to think that I met this wonderful girl and that we are now in an ambulance. Just because of how far our arguments have gone before. Seeing her face in front of me, trying to smile while sobbing, still absolutely unalives me inside. During the whole time in the hospital, she almost frantically wanted to hold my hand. And only after seeing a doctor doctor, she relaxed a little, and when she was allowed to go home afterwards. During the ride home, we again talked a lot, and she was more relaxed, even though she still cried. And she asked me to, instead of breaking up, to make a break for months so that we could both heal and she wouldn't lose me forever. I suggested breaking up, and that would be met for a coffee in some months and just see what would happen. Dude, you've already done this. Sounds weird, but it was the most I could give her, and I seriously meant it. This conversation also continued in her dorm, where I asked her to also bring me my things and I would give her hers. After we talked for 20 minutes, she said she would get my stuff, including a photo collage of pictures of us. But when she didn't come back for 5 minutes, I immediately was worried that she was doing something to herself. So I went to her room and knocked. There she immediately opened the door, gave me my things, walked me to the door of the dorm, wished me goodbye journey, as I'm going to an exchange for 3 months in October, where we initially had planned to stay together for a month, and try to smile, but her voice was broken and she just walked away. Everything in me wanted to hold her back, to tell her that we will meet again in some months and that everything will be all right. But I just stood there, which cost all the mental power I had. I no longer heard her footsteps. I just couldn't help but follow her and stand in front of her door. I don't know what I was expecting to do there, but I was so worried she would do something to herself. I wanted to knock at her door so badly, but again, I decided to walk away. I didn't text her. I saw she was online on Facebook at some time, which was already a huge relief. Still, I want nothing more than to text her and comfort her, or at least ask her if she's all right under those conditions. I'm seeing like a savior complex here.
Yeah, there's something going on where this guy just can't, he feels like a responsibility for this woman's existence to a degree that is just not accurate. Like,
it's weird.
This is not your daughter.
Yeah.
If this was your daughter, I get that. This is just a girlfriend.
Your toxic girlfriend.
Awful. You keep saying it's awful. It happens over and over again. Nuclear bomb fights every week. Dude.
I know I should not, and so far I didn't, but I can't get that image out of my head of her crying so heavily and only wanting to hug me. I know breaking up was the best thing, also for her, but then I can't help but to think that I should have gone so far for relationships breaks. But I think that I should have gone for that relationship break she suggested. I mean, was that too much to ask? I'm convinced that her PPD was milder than most, and I've also read so far on this forum, but it's getting worse and worse, and I gave all my energy, gave into all her unfounded demands, and increasingly lost my patience and control. So I know it was the right thing, but it feels so much like betrayal. And she would also be the perfect woman for me. I know that her good sides weren't fake. If she just didn't have PPD or show these really strong symptoms, everything would have been different. And by the way, you don't got to be different, because you can listen to more stories just like this one. Just go to your favorite podcast platform, look up OK Storytime, and boom, we're there with crazy stories just like this one. Coda looks like you're about to explode, man. He's paralyzed.
OP saying, I know she was the perfect girl for me, though, makes me want to just ascend into the sky and leave the planet. I can't handle this guy saying that. Also being like, I know the good sides were real. Hey buddy, did you know that you can lie about being good and bad? Sounds like she's lying about having an actual mental health issue, and she's also lying about, I don't know, being good.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
It's just, when do you get this diagnosed?
Because this isn't coincidence anymore. She's doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
This is a purposeful thing.
Yeah.
So it's not an accident, which means it's a bad behavior.
Yeah.
Just freaking walk away.
But to finish this long rant,
please,
of a relationship, I feel like I've been in this relationship. Like just reading it, I'm like, dang, dude, I'm worn out.
Yeah, I know. I want to break up with this guy. Please.
I know with time I can and will heal. But just now I'm lying in bed and can't stop thinking of all these thoughts and what ifs. All I want for her is to feel good. BPD aside, she's a great girl, and I stupidly hope that she will make great progress and I can meet her again after some time has passed. Sorry for the long post.
Nah, it's all good.
I wanted to make it shorter, but I needed to get that all out, as I cannot sleep now anyway with all these thoughts of feelings of guilt. Just reading other posts already has helped me so much. Also, huge thank you to this community. One last comment. Sleep well, sweet boy. You are a good person, and so is your ex. You're perhaps not just well suited for each other. I'm sorry you're going through this. Never lose your compassion and sensitivity. They're the only things worth a dang in this world.
Dang, that was a good final comment.
Holy
I like
cow.
that. OP needs to realize that the good side doesn't exist and the bad side doesn't exist, because it's always going to be both. Always. Always. So it's not good and bad. It's just that is her. That is the most concise way of saying that without hopefully, I don't know if her BPD is real. I know that BPD is real because I've dealt with it with people. And it's hard. It's the simplest way to put that.
My husband keeps referring to everything as only his I feel hurt.
That's ours, baby boy.
He'll stop me and say, my house. And when I get upset, he goes, it's my house, but since I'm yours, you get to live in it.
It's our house in the middle of our street.
Or something similar. It makes me feel so crappy when he does that. He sort of does it jokingly, but it happens without fail almost every time. And I've tried to tell him that it's hurtful, and he just laughs and says he's kidding. By the way, this comes from Lola and if you want to submit your own story, go to the /OK Storytime subreddit. I gave up on that one. Sorry. It's just letters. So for context, he bought a house last year right before we got married. I was part of the entire process since we already lived together, but he put his savings into the down payment and it was his name on everything for obvious reasons. I had recently spent the last of my savings to pay off student loans and was only doing freelance remote work, so I wasn't really bringing in much money and was trying to focus on my mental health. He has a really good paying job and always said that he was happy to support me. I've even talked about getting a job in my field again if that would make him happy, and he assured me that I don't need to. Cool. But now it just feels like because his money is what buys mostly everything, that I'm some mooch just living off of him. Mind you, I'm pregnant with our first kid due very soon, and this was all discussed extensively that I was to be a stay-at-home mom. So why does he feel the need to hurt me like that? Does he secretly wish that I was working and bringing home more money? Does he think I'm pathetic? It makes me feel like I'm an effing roommate who hasn't paid rent and he's doing me a favor. And another thing that confuses me is if my parents or relatives ever want to give us anything like a wedding or baby shower gift, he gets annoyed because he wants to be the one to buy that stuff for us and doesn't want to rely on other people. And we do have an edit. Mm-hmm. How are we feeling so far?
Well, I think that it's not about him wanting you to necessarily get a job and start chipping in. I think he just wants to make it very clear that he's in control.
I agree. I completely agree.
I pay all the bills and I do all of this and it's me. And it's not saying like, oh, I'm so annoyed that you don't chip in at all. I think it's just saying like, I want you to remember, who's in power.
Exactly.
It's just not good.
I totally agree. But there is an edit to answer and address some common questions. There was no prenup and no mention of wanting to keep assets split after marriage. We have a joint bank account and I also maintain my old accounts under just my name. Some people suggested that he just wants to feel appreciated. I know that's not the case because 1, he explicitly hates being thanked. What? He says it makes him feel like he's just doing it for the praise and that makes him feel crappy. 2, I find ways of showing my appreciation by cooking, cleaning, managing everything in the home, taking care of him, etc. I don't want to portray him as some controlling a-hole who doesn't let me do things. It's tough to paint an accurate picture since I don't want to give out my entire relationship story on Reddit. I have freedom to do whatever I want and he is supportive. It's just like little things like this that make me question his deeper feelings, even though anytime it comes up, he reassures me that he is happy to support me and doesn't think I'm any less than he is. Another point is I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to put my child in daycare. He and I both feel that way. The possibility of remote work is still there too if I feel I can balance both, but I think the deeper issue lies in our communication and that's on me too. After taking into consideration the comments and different perspectives here, I'm going to address him tomorrow. Today was bad because he worked late and was exhausted and tried to be as open about how I feel as I can. I'll update here when I do. Thanks to everyone who felt the need to help. I do feel very validated in my concern at the very least, and we do have that update. That update. So thanks to everyone who commented. I was honestly shocked that it got so much attention and that so many people felt compelled to help. I ended up talking to him a few nights ago after I got all my thoughts down on paper and felt emotionally ready to talk about it. I said, when you point out that it's your house or that you paid for this and that, it makes me feel like I'm an unwanted guest in your house. I've told you how this makes me feel, but you still do it, which makes me feel like this isn't just a joke like you claim. I want to feel like an equal partner in our relationship, especially since we will bring our child into the world so soon. When we were engaged, we were both so excited to go house hunting together and make it our home for us and our future kids. You told me that you were more than happy to continue working so that I could stay home to take care of the house and kids and dogs, but lately it feels like you resent me for it. Now that I'm bringing our child into the world, I want to make sure that there's no hostility or resentment between us.
I like the emphasis on our child.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to hear your side because currently I just feel hurt and I'm worried that this will keep building if I don't address it now. If me going back to work and contributing to the mortgage is what you want, despite what you said to me a year ago, then let's talk about it. So I read that to him, and he immediately said that he never meant anything by it, and it was stupid and immature of him, and that he would work on it. Okay. He didn't realize it hurt me so much. After talking it through a little, he said that he thinks it might stem from growing up poor and finally building a comfortable life for himself.
Which you kind of said, yeah.
Yeah, we spotted that from a mile away.
Yeah, we all saw that.
Saw it coming. He agreed that it probably has to also be an ego thing, and maybe stems from the fact that his dad couldn't take care of their family and his mom had to work 2 to 3 jobs. He said that he wants me to feel like an equal partner and wants me to feel at home in our house. I also asked about putting my name on the deed, and he said he would.
That is a big deal.
Wow.
Because I think we have like a lot of partners who are like, no, you did not pay for it. Like, if we were to divorce, like, you would try and get the house. And it's like, no, he's trusting. He's putting, I think it shows a strength in the relationship.
I do think that he means what he says, but I also need him to prove it with his actions and words for me to truly feel comfortable. That is something that we should all be going by.
Yes.
But we're moving in the right direction, and I'm glad I was able to express that to him. Thanks again for all the advice, and we do have a second update.
Let's dive in.
Let's just jump right in.
Whee.
I'm shaking and crying as I write this.
I'm shaking and crying.
It's not a great start.
Not good.
I now understand all the red flag comments on my last post.
Oh no.
I didn't see it. I trusted him. I'm so effing stupid.
Oh no.
I'm so scared. Here's what happened. He went on a work trip this week and promised that we would sort the house deed stuff when he comes back. His apologies sounded genuine, and I believed him as much as I could without the proof yet.
Cheating.
Any ICUs?
Cheating.
Any ICUs? Cheating. Ooh. Today, I just had a weird feeling in my body. His texts about work have been really updatey, like constantly telling me what he's doing or where he's going. I didn't think anything of it until earlier when he said that he was taking a nap and wouldn't be on his phone for a few hours.
Taking a nap.
For a few hours. This is weird because the man despises naps. They F up his sleep and he feels like crap afterwards. But I know something that probably doesn't feel like crap.
What?
You guys know.
Oh,
you guys
trickster.
All know.
Trickster,
you got us again.
Oh, how do you always get away with it?
So I checked his Google Play account from our home PC. His Google account is always logged in. He probably doesn't know that I know this, but I can see what apps he has or recently had installed on his phone. Why this is important. When we were dating, he had a severe spicy texting irregular use problem.
What?
We had broken up because of it. I had suspicions and caught him. But we ended up getting back together after he swore up and down it had stopped and even gave me permission to look at his phone whenever I wanted. I eventually stopped checking because I trusted him.
Dude, that was relevant information.
That's like a big piece of lore that we were missing. A few years have passed and we're obviously now married with a baby on the way, and I've trusted him. Our intimacy has basically passed away since I got pregnant, and I blamed that more on myself than him because I just don't feel in the mood or schmexing. He never tried anything, so I didn't have to reject him. It was just like he felt it too, I guess. I thought that was normal. So anyways, I looked at his account and saw that he had all the apps he used to use for spicy texting installed and recently used on his phone. Snapchat, Telegram, WhatsApp, Instagram, Tumblr. Well, he's got it all. He's juggling.
Tumblr?
But the worst one, the one that broke my heart seeing, is that he has Tinder installed.
Yeah, the worst one was Tumblr. he's a nerd.
Yeah. And not only was he spicy texting other people, but I found out that he was a loser.
And no hate to anyone who uses Tumblr.
Yeah, definitely not. It's just a joke.
It's just a joke, guys. We all used it.
Does that mean on his work trips he's actually effing people?
Probably.
He's had a lot of work trips the past 2 months since he won't be able to travel for a while when the baby arrives. I'm devastated and angry, and I feel so stupid that I was making excuses for him and trying to paint him in a better light when everyone was telling me to run. Now, I don't know what to do. I want to call him and tell him that I know, but the only evidence I had is screenshots from the Google Play website showing that they were installed and recently used. I want to get real evidence because I know he'll uninstall everything before he's back. I mean, that sounds like evidence to me. I don't know. Part of me wants to just leave and go to my parents' house 4 hours away with the pictures printed out for him to find when he gets back, but I don't think that will solve anything. Help. And we do have another update, but what would we suggest to OP?
You take those pictures and go to your parents' house and then
just go for it.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't think we need that many excuses. Like, you know.
Yeah, you know. I wonder if there's anything that you like feel the need to say to him or something. That might be good instead of just kind of like
but I think make sure that your parents are there or like someone else is there.
That's
when you confront him.
Yeah.
But
I agree. Like maybe you can go to your parents' house to like get your thoughts together.
Yeah.
And be like, I have to go on a work trip. I don't know what to tell you.
I gotta go.
And then maybe like bring one of them back with you to like help gather your things to get out of there.
I agree.
What did you say, Riley?
Mediate. To like mediate and stuff.
Mediate, yeah, exactly. But we do have a third update. So, holy crap, it's been a week. So I ended up taking advice from some of the comments telling me to go to my parents' house. My mom recently retired, so he bought my story that she wanted to celebrate with me and treat me to a spa day, plus spend time with me before the baby gets here. I just didn't trust myself not to break down or keep my cool when he got home. I had way too much to think about and figure out. Part of me was still wanting to defend him, I guess, because I didn't tell my mom why I came to see them until yesterday when I ended up telling her everything. We're meeting with a lawyer tomorrow morning to discuss my options. I'm no longer worried about getting my name on the deed, as I just want to be done with him. All I care about now is the safety of my child and trying to make the best decisions going forward. I want to be clear. I don't care about his money. I don't want to take as much as I can from him, like some people have been saying. F that. I can make decent money once I start working again, and I find myself incredibly lucky to have supportive parents who will let me stay with them until I get on my feet. As of now, he doesn't know anything. I've kept up my normal texts with him, keeping him updated on what I'm doing with my mom. And by the way, we always update our Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. We just put more and more full episodes of stories just like this one. Just search OK Storytime. Yeah, I think that's she's doing everything right. She's escaping.
Yep.
Letting her mind figure out, the right things to say, because I mean, I doubt she'll be able to speak clearly as soon as she found out,
No, like go take some time, go to your parents.
Exactly.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
But you know what you have to do.
Yeah.
And get that child support.
Yes.
But yeah, there is a little bit more to the story. Let's just finish it right up. As for getting checked for STDs, I will be getting that done in the next few days. The reason I'm not as worried about that is because we haven't had spicy sleep in months. He hasn't even tried. And I've had no symptoms. But I do know plenty of them have no symptoms, hence why I will be getting checked. I was also tested at the beginning of my pregnancy. Plus I had more recent pregnancy-related blood work, which included a mandatory HIV test. Luckily, all negative. Thank you again to everyone who helped me understand the severity of the problems in my marriage and that I needed to leave him. I admit I was willfully blind to a lot of red flags, but knowing he's cheating on me again has made me painfully aware. I'm currently just trying to get through each day and will decide what else needs to be done after speaking with a lawyer. And it's to clarify, when I said I didn't want to take his money, I didn't mean I would not fight for child support or even alimony. I'm just not interested in taking him for all he's worth, as some were suggesting. Yes, I want my child to be financially taken care of. No, I don't want to go the extra mile to hurt him just for the extra money.
Dude.
And that is the end of that story.
I think OPs knows what to do, and I think it's like a good mindset to be like, I'm not gonna try and like destroy him.
Yeah,
they're co-parenting, but he sucks.
But that definitely sucks. Boo to this man and his business trips.
Yeah.